do think a lot of people ordered the Cybertruck. Well, I think everyone on Earth has a reservation for the Tesla Semi. You have one, I have one, my grandma reserved one, and that's why there's so much interest in the rollout in the timeline for the Tesla Semi launch. And jokes aside, I'm sure most of you watching this video don't have a reservation, but either way, it's very exciting to see and talk about because it's such a different electric vehicle from what we're used to seeing, and it actually works, it drives, it rolls, it's real, and Tesla has used it to deliver their own vehicles to customers, and they didn't have to put it at the top of a hill and let it roll down for it to get there. And I think that's why there's so much interest in the Tesla Semi, because it's the first commercial grade vehicle that Tesla is making, and we've gotten a little bit of information about when to expect the Semi over the next few months, but it is a little bit hazy, so definitely expect a little bit of speculation in today's video. That's a lot of what this channel is. But in the last Q2 earnings call, Tesla announced that Giga Texas is going under construction, and if you follow Jeff Roberts, you've been seeing all of the progress they've been making with leveling that land, and it looks like they're already starting to do some digging for foundational work, and that means that groundbreaking could start very, very soon. And in my last Cybertruck update video, we learned that they want to have the first dry-in of Giga Texas complete by the end of this year, which means a finished, completed building. Nothing necessarily inside it, but still walls and a roof are done. And at that Q2 earnings call, they did confirm that they wanted to mass produce the Tesla Semi at Giga Texas. In my opinion, this likely has to do with the battery packs that they're going to be putting into the Semi, which I'm guessing will make the most amount of sense to use the leaked Roadrunner cells, the much, much larger ones that are going to have way less degradation, probably save a lot on manufacturing and still have great energy density, because the Tesla Semi is going to be a workhorse. It's going to be spending the majority of its life on the road, riding around a lot, and that means that the Semi will, yes, be getting into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of miles on the road, so making sure you have a battery pack that can sustain that kind of usage is quite important. But at the same time, Giga Texas, in the very, very best case scenario, will start trial production of likely the Cybertruck in May of next year. So that's just trial production. So how is Giga Texas really going to be able to build up the Tesla Semi assembly line in 2021, which is when Tesla is currently saying Tesla Semi deliveries for people who actually reserved one, the commercial companies, actually begin? I have a theory that has a little bit of rumors and evidence to go off of, but there were some reports that Giga Nevada has a pilot line for the Tesla Semi, which essentially means it's not permanent. This is not where mass production of the Semi will be, but they will be constructing a few more aside from the Semis that were showcased at the event and the prototype that has been used and spotted around Sacramento, California, that was seen taking Model S's, Model 3s, Model Ys to delivery points. And the chief of the Tesla Semi project mentioned on the last earnings call that they want to use the Semi first for their own purposes of transporting battery packs and equipment between Giga Nevada and Fremont before they actually start customer deliveries. So that's why I'm guessing we're going to start seeing a lot more Tesla Semis by the end of this year or in early 2021, but they're going to be coming off of that pilot line in Nevada, not necessarily going to be at scale production, and they're not going to be making deliveries to the big reservation holders like Walmart or UPS or all the companies that announced that they were ordering the Tesla Semi. But knowing the ambition of Giga Texas and how fast they want to get it online, I guess it is reasonable to assume that if they're ready to scale Cybertruck production by Q3 of next year, then perhaps they're going to start building the Tesla Semi out of that factory as well in Q4. The actual city permits and applications that showcase the true size of Giga Texas showcase how gargantuan of a factory this is going to be, and they showcase how long the facility is side to side, and Tesla's going to have a lot of work to do there next year, and they're moving around the clock as fast as they can at this location currently, and potentially it's not just for the Cybertruck. In my opinion, these would be the two coolest vehicles to prioritize at Giga Texas. Cybertruck obviously has the most amount of reservations, it has the most amount of demand, so prioritizing those orders first makes the most amount of sense to me. But also the Tesla Semi is a way lower volume vehicle, so my assumption is that it doesn't need a facility quite as large or as long as we're used to seeing for the Model 3 at Giga Shanghai, or likely not as big and as complicated as the Model Y assembly line that's going to be going up at Giga Berlin here pretty quick. Cybertruck is going to be built at insane scale, so making sure you can crank out a ton of them at once makes a whole lot of sense for the Giga Texas factory. But the Tesla Semi being so low volume, I imagine that could take up a small corner of the factory and not need to be so long, because probably the biggest issue with the Semi is not the panels and the interior and the displays. All that kind of stuff is just kind of big, but I don't think that necessarily makes it hard to build. The trickiest part is building batteries at a high enough scale that you can produce the Semi regularly, because if rumors are true of anything, it sounds like the standard range Semi is going to have like a 500 kilowatt hour battery pack, and the long range Semi 850 kilowatt hours, or potentially up to 1 megawatt hour. So if you want to start building batteries at that insane scale for the prices Tesla was promising of the Semi, being, $180,000-$200,000, they're going to have to reach a certain milestone when it comes to cost per kilogram in battery packs. And I'm really hoping that Battery Day can shed some light on this, and if they're planning on using these next generation Roadrunner cells in the Semi, that would explain a lot on how they're able to promise the prices of the Semi, and knowing how they've delayed Battery Day several times, and they've also delayed the Tesla Semi several times, it would explain a lot to know that, well, we were gonna launch the Semi in 2019, but we wanted to wait until we had those next generation battery packs, because ultimately, and I agree with Tesla here, being late to something is better than being early but bad. And releasing the Tesla Semi early but with weaker battery packs and disappointing range, in my opinion, would be much worse for the brand than just delaying it a few years but making sure that the range is awesome and the cost savings they talked about at the event are real. So that's my prediction for the next 12 months. We're basically just going to be occasionally seeing Tesla Semi spotted on roads, probably being used by Tesla for Teslas, but then maybe by Q3 or Q4 of next year is when you'll start seeing actual customer deliveries to carriers that plan on using the Tesla Semi for their own purposes. If there's any more information or things I'm missing, feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.